Hello and welcome back to the Stronghold. I'm the Magi. That's right, I decided it was time to take an on-screen persona. And it's that time again. It's midweek, and I want you to play some magic so you can win 2 free rare or better ICRs. This week's midweek magic is, well, just straight up artisan. And for those that maybe aren't familiar with the format, that means you've got to build your deck out of just commons and uncommons and, of course, basic lands. In other words, you can't have any rares or mythics. And to me, this feels like the perfect time to talk about a budget deck and keep things really, really simple. So this week we are going to be talking about the new face of budget mono red. So stay tuned. But before we get into all that, allow me to do the awkward thing and promote the channel. A while back, one of my viewers was kind enough to point out that we are the only channel putting out timely midweek magic content. So be sure to subscribe right here at the Planeswalker Stronghold for all of your future midweek magic needs, because we will be bringing you a deck list or strategy every single week. So what do you say we put all this aside and just get to that? All right, so let's take a deep dive into this deck tech. I've got things organized a little differently than the general mana cost. The first column here, which features only Phoenix Chick, is for aggressive, efficient, those red rush creatures. And Phoenix Chick is kind of the point of the sword right now. It is so efficient, it's so accessible. Flying, haste, recursion. I mean, it's just everything you possibly want it to be. Run as many copies as you can. Unfortunately, the upper limit is 4. From there, we've got a second column here, and these are your Spells Matters creatures. Put first and foremost Monastery Swiftspear as your Prowess haste. Dwarven Forge Channel, we're running again 4 copies, just like Swiftspear. This has got Ward, pay 2 life, so if they kill it, it's gonna hurt them literally. It's a 2-drop with 1/3 and Prowess, very good stuff. From here, we're running 2 copies of Electrostatic Infantry. I'm only running 2 copies because that's what I know you have as part of your new player experience. If you are recently added to Arena post-rotation, this is another 2-drop. It's a 1/2 with Trample. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Electrostatic Infantry. This differs from Prowess creatures because that +1/+1 counter is permanent, as opposed to Prowess that shakes off at the end of each turn. Filling out the last couple slots here is Spell Rune Painter, 2/3 for 3 mana whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell. This card gets +1/+1 until end of turn. That is the Daybound side. Of course, if you flip it over to the Nightbound side, it becomes a 3/4 base. And the instant and sorcery effect gets a +2/+2 until end of turn. Both pretty darn good and a nice way to top out your 3-drop curve here. Beyond that, the final column of spells is, well, just that. These are all of our instants and sorceries that column 2 cares about, and as you can see, it is the vast majority of the deck. There's only 2 cards here that are not included in the new player experience. Ancestral Anger, 1 mana sorcery, target creature gains trample and +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is 1 plus the number of cards named Ancestral Anger in the graveyard. Obviously, giving a creature trample and a power boost is very nice in a deck like this. So you want to run either 0 copies of Ancestral Anger or all 4. If you don't have the wild cards on this, it's only a common and possibly worth the expenditure, but just know this card is only played in these Prowess style decks. The second card, which is not part of your new player experience, is another 1 mana sorcery. End of the festivities, or excuse me, end the festivities. There's no of there. I don't know why I put in an of. It deals 1 damage to each opponent and each creature and planeswalker they control. This is a nice way to sweep the board against those token decks, or soften up the defending field for your rushing onslaught. Kamana faces Kakazan is the premier red uncommon right now in Standard. If you don't know what this card is, I don't know. Either you're like brand new to Magic, or you've been hiding under some sort of Wi-Fi diffusing rock. It deals opponent damage. Chapter 2, it makes the next creature you summon stronger by giving it a +1/+1 counter. And on the 3rd chapter of the saga, it flips over to give you a 2/2 haste. If a creature dealt damage this turn by a source you control would die, exile it instead. Pretty darn good. Play with Fire is just a pretty straight shooting instant. Literally can damage a creature or the opponent. If you choose to damage the opponent, you get to scry 1. That's pretty cool. Kami Flare, part of your new player experience, 2 mana instant, 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Kami's Flare also deals 2 damage to that permanent's controller if you control a modified creature. And your Phoenix Chick can easily be modified, as well as your Electrostatic Infantry. So sometimes that will actually get there. And Lightning Strike, very similar, 2 mana, 3 damage, any target. Reckless Impulse, just another nice little spell for this deck. It is a 2 mana sorcery. Exile the top 2 cards of your library. Until end of your next turn, you may play those cards. So it not only procs for this turn as a spell having been cast, but it gives you more cards in the form of pseudo card draw that you can play either this turn or next. Very nice stuff. And last, an uncommon that you got a single copy of with the recent changes to the new player experience. 2 mana instant Twinferno, choose 1. When you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets, or target creature you control gains double strike until end of turn. This is instant speed, so you can either cast it during or pre-combat to copy something like Ancestral Anger, or in the festivities to double that up. Pretty nice. Or you can cast it in combat to see which of your big beefy prowess spells matter, pumped up creatures didn't get blocked, and then double down on it. There's only 1 copy, so you only get to do that once. But hey, that is how it goes. The mana base could not be simpler. It's 18 mountains. And I happen to like this artwork. Your results may vary. But all in all, it's a 60 card deck. It is just a mono red rush deck. Mono red spells, very, very efficient. And I think you guys should be able to build, 85% of this deck strictly from your new player experience. Things like your Phoenix Check, Swift Spear, those aren't in your new player experience, but are well worth having, as is the Dwarven Forge Chanter, Ancestral Anger, and end the festivities, again, no of. So hey, that's the deck, guys. I hope you all enjoy it. Alright, just a little testing against Sparky here, and this is a pretty ideal opening hand for this deck. 2 mana, we can cast everything in our hand, and there's only 2 cards in the entire deck, which cost 3. So this is pretty solid. Let's keep it and see what we can do with it. So yeah, that's about as basic as it gets.
What's that? You didn't catch all that? Well, Matt would like you to know that any deck list applicable to this video can be found down in the doobly-doo. Hey, let's not forget, the whole reason to participate in these totally free midweek Magic events is the prize support is awesome. And don't forget, if this video gets just 10 likes by 8 p.m. tonight on the day of release, I will be live playing this on my Twitch channel. And with all that having been said, don't forget, smash that like button like Ronnie J would. And until next time, I'll see you in the arena.